We begin with that breaking news as all eyes are on Florida and Category 4 Hurricane Helene nears landfall. This is a live look from Hudson Beach, just north of St. Petersburg. Here's what we know right now. Hundreds of thousands of people are already without power across Florida. State officials warned people, first responders may not be able to reach them. One county even telling people to write identifying information on their bodies in case of recovery.
You will hear trees snapping. Pine trees snapping sound an awful lot like fireworks or potentially gunshots. So please make sure if you hear that, act immediately. Get to the interior portion of your home, away from glass, most likely a bathroom, and stay there until you hear that sound stop. If, again, for the people in the Tallahassee area, if all of a sudden it goes from catastrophic trees popping to absolutely nothing, that does not mean the storm is over. What that actually means is you're in the eye of the hurricane.
And just a few minutes ago, we learned local ComEd crews will start heading to Georgia tomorrow morning, and so much of the Southeast could be affected here.
Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls has been tracking this storm all week. Emily.
Yeah, here's the latest right now. If we take a look at this map behind me, the northern eye wall is now beginning to make its way over the coast. Now, we're not officially going to have landfall until the center of this storm. So the center of the eye crosses land. But as of right now, we have a Category 4 storm, maximum sustained winds of 140 miles per hour. And this is the first time in recorded history that a Cat 4 storm is going to make landfall in the Big Bend region of Florida. So this is very significant. Peak storm surge from the places that you see here highlighted in red all the way through the purple and then over to the red again. All of these locations throughout the Big Bend could potentially be dealing with peak storm surge that is over 12 feet. So yes, catastrophic damage, not only because of flooding, but of course because of the high winds. Here's where it's headed. So it's going to move up into Georgia late tonight, likely still as a Category 2, and then still maintaining tropical storm strength as it moves through Tennessee. Eventually, we're going to feel some of the effects here in the Chicagoland area. We'll have showers rolling through this weekend, but it's not going to be a washout.
Well, some serious news to get to. Helene is now a tropical storm as it moves inland. It made landfall last night as a Category 4 storm in the Big Bend area of Florida. Rebecca Castor joins us again this morning from Tallahassee. Hi, Rebecca.
Natalie, good morning. Now that the sun is up, we're getting a better look at the damage across the city of Tallahassee. There's a lot of storm debris, tree limbs in the road. We've seen a few trees completely knocked over, but for the most part, Tallahassee fared a lot better than originally expected. City officials were bracing for a direct hit that could have brought catastrophic historic flooding to Tallahassee. That did not happen. The storm ended up shifting further east, so it made landfall near Perry, Florida, which is about 50 miles southeast from where we are. So the capital city ended up on the west side of the storm, and that is the side you want to be on when you're talking about hurricanes. The east side is the side that gets the worst impacts. So the storm surge, the record-breaking storm surge across Florida's Big Bend being felt all the way down south, 300 miles south from where the storm actually made landfall. That is where we're seeing the worst impacts from the storm this morning.
There's a lot of big trees, especially when you get down to areas you mentioned like Perry, Florida, which is a very rural part of Florida. What impact is that having on emergency aid being able to get down there to help the people who need that help?
Yeah, yesterday we were talking about I-10, that's the way to get to Perry. There's not too many roads to get there. Trees were blocking that road this morning, so we know that crews were out first thing this morning trying to get those roads clear. But this morning traffic was at a standstill, so it could still be a while before people are even able to get aid to Perry.
And this morning, the Florida State Fire Marshal was telling our friends at Fox that they have a massive amount of urban search and rescue teams that have come to Florida to assist with this. Can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, so that was related to the storm surge, especially in the Tampa Bay area. They made several overnight rescues there. And now we're starting to see that this morning as well in the Atlanta metro area. That is where this storm is headed next, and it's bringing flooding up there as well. And reports that we're getting out of there this morning is that crews made at least 25 rescues in the overnight hours. One of those reports was 2 adults and an infant that were trapped on top of their car. So this storm is far from over, and we're going to be seeing more impacts of it today.
And speaking of those impacts, do you have any updates on how many people are now without power?
Yeah, so in the Tallahassee area, it's 50,000 people without power here. Across Florida's Big Bend, it's more than 1 million people. So there's going to be a lot of work to be done to get these lights back on.
We have spent $100 million on what essentially is walkie-talkies on a stick.
Even Mayor Johnson's own alderman, where he lives, disagrees. 29th Ward Alderman Chris Taliaferro backs keeping ShotSpotter, breaking with the mayor on the controversial issue. He said this back in May.
No technology is perfect, but it works. And it works to get our officers on the scene much quicker.
According to the Illinois Policy Institute, from July 2023 until August 2024, in the areas of Johnson's home in Austin, Montclair, and Belmont-Cragen, 5,008 rounds were detected by ShotSpotter.
We see not only is support strong in Black and brown communities in Chicago for ShotSpotter, it's strongest. So the question becomes, who is Brandon Johnson listening to when it comes to this ShotSpotter decision? Because it's certainly not the people in the communities that are experiencing violence.
Neighborhoods across Chicago that are relatively safer in terms of the amount of gunshots detected, those aldermen sided with Johnson to get rid of ShotSpotter. Majority of the wards are up north. Just this weekend, 8 people were shot in less than an hour. Out of those wounded, Chicago police arrived to a shooting Saturday in the 5400 block of South Paulina. ShotSpotter led police to that location.
2-7, last ShotSpotter, 5420 South Paulina, 2 rounds in the backyard by the garage.
All right, 2 rounds in the backyard by the garage.
That's when they found the 44-year-old man wounded, now in good condition, and a person of interest taken into custody. Stephanie Coleman of the 16th Ward also voted in favor of keeping the technology. Head of the Chicago Police Department, Larry Snelling, put out a statement to officers. Here's some of it. As you interact with community residents moving forward, it's important you encourage them to call 911 if they hear loud noises resembling gunshots. Pastor Donovan Price is on the front lines of Chicago's gun violence. He's been arriving to console families on crime scenes since 2016. ShotSpotter came online a year later.
In the case of Officer Ariana Preston, which ShotSpotter called that shooting, or those shootings, the same with Alex Huerta. He was found as a result of a ShotSpotter alert.
Mid-interview, news broke. Mayor Johnson announced a request for information to explore alternatives to ShotSpotter, aiming for more reliable and efficient first responder technology. Price didn't hold back, calling the move, quote, too little, too late when it comes to saving lives.
I don't know how many school districts would put out applications for teachers on the first day of school. Request for information is even a slower process. And it seems like the mayor has very strong opinions with ShotSpotter. It seems like, knowing that there was a problem with this walkie-talkie on the stick, he would have started that process a long time ago.
Pedro Martinez, the CEO of CPS, gets to keep his job for now. That's because the 7-member Chicago Board of Education did not take a vote on terminating his employment status, as the CTU wanted them to do. Now, this after tremendous pressure campaigns both for and against Martinez. He was defiant this week that he refused to step down after the mayor asked him to resign. He says it's not the right thing to do in the middle of contract negotiations with a very powerful Chicago Teachers Union. Now, Martinez began this evening by offering a resolution to the board, vowing a moratorium on any school closures until 2027. This countering what he says has been a misinformation campaign from the Chicago Teachers Union, claiming that he did want to close schools. 100 speakers signed up to talk this evening. They were passionate. They were whittled down to about 40, which included parents, elected officials, and union members.
If you could exert a fraction of the energy and chutzpah you've exercised to defend your job, to champion our students and demand full funding, we'd be well on our way to closing this projected deficit.
CTU may talk a a good game, but we are concerned about their hidden agendas, mismanagement, lies, manipulations, and they're putting politics over our kids.
A real divide in the city here between the Chicago Teachers Union and its supporters and parents and other members of the public and elected officials that do not support the CTU agenda. So what happens next? Well, there are no more scheduled school board meetings. The campaign to keep Martinez included a letter signed by a majority of city council members, former CPS CEOs, as well as strongly worded editorials in the Tribune and sometimes critical of the mayor's decision to ask him to resign amid this very tense moment. And we're going to have much more on this meeting tonight and go much more in depth on Paris on Politics at the bottom of the hour, so stay tuned for that.
She is only 5 years old, but knew exactly what to do when her mom passed out. She found her mom's cell phone and quickly dialed 911.
Where's your emergency? I was in my room and I was watching TV and my mom just fainted. Can you come hurry? I already called my papi and my grandma.
Sure. Do you know your address?
Bronx Avenue, Skokie, Illinois.
5-year-old Zoe Reddick is a typical kindergartner, likes to dress up and likes to draw. She is also a local hero, especially in the eyes of her mom, Jessica. Wednesday night at Skokie Police Headquarters, she was given the credit she deserves. In May, her mom fainted and Zoe knew who to call for help.
Just the thought that if she did not spring into action with that 911 call, I wouldn't be here.
Has this happened to her before?
No, she just had surgery.
Jessica was recovering from hip surgery and had a seizure in their Skokie home.
She's wiggling.
What's your mom's name?
Jessica.
Zoe answered every question from dispatch and continued to try to help her mom.
Mommy, are you awake?
Okay, I'm still here with you, okay?
Okay. I'm trying to wake my mother up.
The dispatcher waited on the line until help arrived.
911.
Okay, you can hang up. Tell them I'm here.
Thank you, bye.
You're welcome.
Now Zoe's parents want this to be a lesson for all parents.
Teach your children the importance of 911. Teach your children what to do in the case of an emergency.
And just keep refreshing it in their mind, you know what I mean? Just like now, to be like, hey, what's daddy's number? What's mommy's number?
As for Zoe, she knows she did good and that other people are proud of her too.
Wow, Zoe called 911 and they gave me kisses.
Zoe's parents suggest that we talk to our kids about 911, teach them about 911, just like we do with the ABCs, what it is, how to use it, and what information to give. So they have that information, that knowledge, just in case, like Zoe.
Want to know Chicago politics? Listen to Paris.
Elections, conventions, corruption, there's a lot to get to.
Paris Schutz, the most trusted name in Chicago politics.
Making sense of the issues that impact all of our lives.
Is on Fox Chicago.
I'm Paris Schutz, and I get to cover politics in the world's most fascinating political city.
Find Paris on air on Fox32Chicago.com and streaming on Fox Local.
Let's get started.
But first, a Bulls icon is saying goodbye to basketball. Lou is here with more.
Oh, man, he was so fun to watch at the United Center, guys. Englewood's very own Derrick Rose, literally a shooting star. #1 pick in the draft, then Rookie of the Year, All-Star, and MVP. His agonizing fall because of injuries, tough to witness. And today, Rose announced on social media he was retiring from the NBA after 16 seasons. Yeah, Rose was a 3-time All-Star, the youngest MVP in league history at age 22, led the Bulls to a league best record and Eastern Conference Finals, but his career turned when he tore an ACL during the first round of the 2012 playoffs. His 8-year run with the Bulls ended when he was traded to the New York Knicks, then eventually played for the Timberwolves, Pistons, and Memphis Grizzlies. Bulls owner Jerry Reinsdorf released this statement. He says, in part, he's one of the toughest and most determined athletes I've ever been around. He will always be a part of our Bulls family. Rose also took out a full-page ad in the local newspaper, at the Chicago Tribune, also around newspapers in the 6 NBA cities he played in, again, including the Tribune, writing a heartfelt message of the game of basketball. Part of it says, quote, "Thank you, my first love. You believed in me through the highs and lows. You introduced me to new places and cultures that a kid from Chicago could have never imagined." He finished off by saying, "You told me it's okay to say goodbye, reassuring me that you'll always be part of me, no matter where life takes me."
In Illinois, there's $5 billion in unclaimed cash and property waiting for its rightful owners. Could you be one of them?
And they say on average that 1 in 4 people who search the Treasurer's Office database actually discover that property or cash is waiting for them to claim. How about that? So how do you know? We are joined by State Senator Dan McConkey. He is joining us to let us know how we can figure this one out. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Good to have you.
It's good to be on with you today.
Okay, so tell us, what is this iCash database and how does it work?
Sure. So anybody can go online. All they have to do is go to icash.illinoistreasurer.gov, enter your name, and you'll be able to see if you're owed money. And when you fill that out, you're going to see you're either going to be under $100 or over $100. And then you'll know whether or not it came in, where it came from, whether or not it was from insurance benefits or unclaimed property of some sort, a bank account that maybe you forgot about. The Treasurer's Office collects all of those and helps connect it back to the rightful owner.
You did some connecting today with people. I know you had an event in Algonquin so people could get their cash or property back. How did it go? And I have to imagine a lot of people were surprised to find out they were owed anything.
Yeah, so we had a lot of people come in, and a lot of them just don't know maybe how to search for it, or maybe if they see something on there, how to claim it. So we had an event out at the Algonquin Village Hall, me and Senator Don DeWitt, along with the Treasurer Mike Ferricks's office. We had over 30 people come out, and they were they were together over $40,000 we were able to connect people with. We, in fact, had one individual that was connected with $16,500 of money that they didn't know that they had. So it was really a great day today.
I was going to say, it must be so fun for you guys to see the reaction. I mean, what a nice, unexpected thing to have happen to you. So go back for us. Go back over how this cash or property gets lost in the shuffle and ends up in this database, because we were showing some pictures. I saw a watch. Is it safety security boxes? Give us kind of a rundown of what these things are and where they came from.
Yeah, so anytime that there is an account of some sort that has money that belongs to an individual but is held by somebody else, it could be a financial services organization, a bank, an insurance company, safety deposit box, like you mentioned. These things are not, able to be kept by the person that's, the company that's holding them. Those, by law, have to be turned over to the Treasurer's Office once they've been considered abandoned. Usually that's around 5 years or so. If they've not been claimed, then it goes to the Treasurer's Office, and the Treasurer's Office then does its best to try to reconnect it with the actual people that own it. And as you mentioned at the beginning, $5 billion is sitting out there with 1 in 4 people owed something from the state of Illinois. It's really an important thing that everybody should go online and check to make sure you're not one of those individuals.
Yeah, you were saying at the event today, a lot of people didn't know how to get those things back. Once you do discover you're owed anything, I want you to reiterate and elaborate how that process works for you to get it back.
Yeah, so there are events that the Treasurer's Office has. You can check with your local state official, either your state senator or state representative's office, to see if there's an event coming up near you. You can also deal directly with the Treasurer's Office. When you search on that website, again, it's icash.illinoistreasurer.gov. If you see something on there, there is a claim process that you can go through. Some people are a little scared of it, but the Treasurer's Office is more than happy to reach out and help you to make sure that you get what you're owed.
Hey, that's what I was doing. Wouldn't it be fun if we were owed like $20,000?
I wouldn't let you know, though.
Senator, can you see for us?
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Great story.
My pleasure. It's always great to be Santa Claus.
That's exactly what you guys were today. Thanks again.
Got the right color on for that, too.
Well, the headaches continue north to Sabo Lakeshore Drive. Yesterday, around 8:30, it took around an hour and 45 minutes to travel southbound from Hollywood all the way to around Randolph. Now today, expect it to take well over an hour to travel that same stretch because of resurfacing work that's being extended into the morning commute. Let's bring up some video from Skyfox from around 7:30 this morning. The left lane is closed, Irving Park to before Fullerton, and I drove the stretch and it seems like the roughest pavement is in the right lane of that area, so you'll see folks even stopping more because of that. Now we know that CDOT has overnight resurfacing work scheduled each week until next month, but the lane and ramp closures are supposed to be wrapped up by 6 a.m. I've been reporting this every morning. Now today, yesterday, Monday, that was not the case. Lane closures were extended into the busy morning commute. I reached out to CDOT, who said the closures are necessary for safety following overnight milling operations, which found the roadway base to be poorer condition than anticipated. Yesterday, one southbound lane was closed at Irving Park, 2 Diversey, and 2 lanes were closed at LaSalle Drive, so it was only leaving 1 or 2 lanes open for a majority of the daytime commute. Today, again, just a southbound lane will remain closed between Irving Park and Diversey. All other lanes should remain open, but that still means it's probably going to cause a lot of backup for folks who are traveling southbound North DuSable Lakeshore Drive.
Meanwhile, if you are planning on traveling overseas this fall or for the holidays, you know how expensive it can be.
In tonight's special Money Saver report, I will show you how you can add an extra stop to your trip for next to nothing.
From Paris to London to Rome, there's always so much to see when traveling abroad, and usually not enough time or money to do it all, unless you take advantage of a stopover.
We looked into the fare rules for 100 different airlines and found that 26 allow free stopovers.
Those are the results of a recent survey by Consumers Checkbook.
The difference is, instead of just doing a long layover, you're actually baking into the price of your ticket this ability to stop over for 4 to 7 days before you continue on. So it really lets you buy, 2 destinations for your vacation for the price of 1.
Brassler says stopover cities are usually going to be where the hub is for that airline. So let's say you're taking a trip to Paris. You could also see the sights in Madrid if you schedule a stopover when flying on Iberia. If you're flying Air Canada, you could wind up with a stopover in Toronto. Taipei is another stopover if you're flying China Airlines or EVA Air. There's also Dublin and Dubai, depending on which airline you choose.
Most airlines that do this, they're either owned outright by their nation's governments or they're heavily subsidized by the government.
Brassler says these airlines are usually offering free stopover flights as a way to increase local tourism.
The most famous is Iceland Airs. It's really responsible for the big tourism industry in Iceland now, where they started offering this ability to, on your way to some other destination in Europe, you can stop over in Iceland for 4 or 5 days without having to pay extra.
So how exactly do you book a stopover?
You book these stopovers just like a regular ticket. The key is you have to book them on the airline's website. You're not going to find these deals on Google Flights or Kayak or Expedia. Some make it tricky, it's kind of hard to find them, but usually what you'll see is a separate booking page for stopover. We did find that a few airlines you actually have to call in order to make these bookings.
Now that you're getting 2 destinations for the price of 1, how can you keep your other travel expenses down as well?
Some of these airlines, they actually subsidize discounted hotel rates, so you can stay for a discount in their home cities, and then you continue on your journey without having to book a second ticket.
If your airline does not offer a hotel discount when traveling internationally, you're not out of luck.
You can use travel booking sites like Hotels.com. You can use Trivago. If you're going away for an extended period of time, I actually like Hotels.com because they have a really robust reward program.
Warrock adds you should check other booking sites to see what rewards they have to offer, as well as hotel reviews. When it comes to seeing the sites for little to nothing,
you can run a simple Google search with the city name and the term free things to do.
Warrock also suggests checking out the GPSmyCity.com for free walking tours abroad and to check with your hotel for local meal deals.
Your good day streams here. Trust the Good Day Chicago crew to get your day started right. The wake-up news, weather, and traffic you need with a good time, guaranteed. Streaming live on your smart TV. Weekday mornings at Fox 32 on Fox Local.
Illinois Congressman Mike Quigley is announcing a boost of $200 million to Chicago's CREATE program. It's a massive plan to update our railroads for freight and for passengers. And we all know what a headache those supply chain issues have caused the past few years, right? So this aims to reduce the impact of that. The congressman joins us live now. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. So tell us how this new funding is going to impact the average Chicagoan.
Sure. I mean, look, it's a long-term project that CREATE, as a public-private partnership, tries to do. You know the line, if it rolls, floats, or flies, it goes through Chicago. 1 in 4 U.S. freight trains go through Chicago. So that's about 500 freight trains and 900 Metro. That's a lot of traffic, creates very real bottlenecks and safety problems. So what CREATE does is it funds projects that builds flyovers, signalization improvements, additional tracks. It gets the freight trains through here quicker, which is great for the economy, but it dramatically enhances the safety between the Amtrak trains, the Metro trains, and obviously the extraordinary number of freight trains. This recent money is going to help in the 75th Street corridor. So people will see, Chicagoans will see enhanced safety, reduced bottlenecks, and a growth in the economy because this creates jobs.
Yeah, and if you are anyone who lives near train tracks like I do and you got to wait when, 2 freight trains are going by, I'm sure that this will be a huge relief. Here in Chicago, Congressman, Cruz replaced a natural gas pipeline recently that dated all the way back to the Lincoln era. What is the state of our infrastructure and bridges nationwide? Is it something that we should be concerned about?
Look, I think it was critical that we passed the infrastructure law, the first major infrastructure law in our lifetime under the Biden administration. But you're absolutely right. We have neglected it for decades and decades. So there's still a lot more that we have to do. It's how the economy works. It's how we compete with our economic competitors across the country. We're being outspent by them, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, sometimes by others 4 to 1. So if we're going to grow our economy and keep ourselves safe, we have to continue that commitment. It can't be just a one-time bill that we do. It has to be ongoing. I'm going to be the next chairman if we win the House back of the committee that funds transportation, housing, and urban development. So I want to be a leader in that effort.
A local family on a roll, making it 2 days in a row on Family Feud.
They snagged $20,000 on the season premiere, but did lightning strike twice?
Tia, did they pull it off?
I can say this, it's really fun to watch, right? And try to guess the answers along with the family.
I
but
love that show.
I'll just say this, the Bentcliffe family, they started off really well.
Returning for their 5th and final day with a total of $60,765. Chicago, Illinois. It's champs. It's the Bentcliffe family.
Say ching ching. The Bentcliffes were back on Family Feud, all 5 of them. The family hails from an hour away in suburban Bartlett. They survived 5 rounds but fell a little short of moving on to the 6th round.
It's so stressful because you watch it from home and you think it's easy. It's so not, because you feel the audience, the live audience staring at you.
That's how we feel doing this job, right?
Yes.
We feel the live audience that's out there watching whether they're not in the studio. But cue the music, guys, because we want to play a little Family Feud. And hey, the survey is asking this question. This is for Dawn, Terrence, and also Emily. I know you two have kids, Dawn and Emily. Terrence, you have a nephew and nieces. What's an excuse that kids use to avoid bedtime? Give me some top answers.
Homework.
Bathroom.
Not tired.
Yeah.
Not tired's number 1.
Oh, wow.
You
Good,
did it
Terrence.
again. So not tired, thirsty, scared of the dark, need to use the bathroom. Good one, Emily. And want a story. They want to be read a story.
When they were little, those were all true.
Yeah. Fun times. Thanks, guys.
And sometimes they pull out all the stops, like all the above.
They do. Yeah. They can be really tricky.
Well, now I just go to bed before them, so there's that.
That works.
Yeah, Thanks,
I feel like I can leave now because that's what, number 1 answer 2 days in a row for me?
Yeah, pretty good,
I'm done.
Terrence.
You could.
I'm leaving right now.
Well, we've got a challenge for you during Hispanic Heritage Month. We want you to put on those walking shoes and explore Puerto Rican history in Humboldt Park.
And there's a walking tour that will teach even the most seasoned Chicagoan a thing or two about the Northwest Side. Gabriela Primus is taking us right along with her.
It tells us the story of how gentrification erases the history of the community that was there before.
It doesn't seem like people are going to regret taking this tour. It seems like they find a lot of enjoyment out of it, and you do too.
You'll come out, empowered with a lot more knowledge. You'll know that not only Chicago has a very unique and thriving Puerto Rican community, a neighborhood who is really trying to make positive changes for our community, but as an example for other neighborhoods in Chicago.
The 6-block stretch of Division Street from flag to flag is where you'll find vibrant street art, smells, and sounds similar to Puerto Rico. Locals call the stretch Paseo Boricua, and Eduardo Arrocho knows it like the back of his hand.
How we got here to the city of Chicago through the eyes of the sculptures, the architectures, like the building behind me, and over 90 murals that were created from 1980 to this year.
Arrocho owns and operates the Paseo Boricua Tour Company. He welcomes anyone with any background or age to join him for the 70-minute in-depth history lesson.
It also has a portrait of him.
He clears up misconceptions and brings influential people back to life through storytelling.
The people who struggled long and hard, that generation before that said, hey, we're not gonna kept being moved by gentrification. We're going to, we call it in Spanish, plantando bandera.
Word about the tours is spreading fast. Arrocho sees that tourists and locals alike are willing to explore beyond what the Loop and Lakeshore offer.
It gives people an ability to come and dive right in to who we are as a people, as a nation, and our ability to be able to contribute so well to building neighborhoods.
La Casita de Don Pedro, which I mentioned to you earlier, that's like halfway. So I always feel accomplished, I feel satisfied, and I feel happy.
To learn more about the tour or to book a spot, visit the company's website at paseoboricuatours.com. Now, Eduardo tries to keep it affordable. Natalie Bryan, it costs around $35 a person, which is, on par or just a little less than some of the places here in the city. But it's a great experience. I don't know if you guys have been able to go down Division Street, look at all the art, but it was incredible.
Got to go check it out for sure.
Yeah, I used to live in that area, and really remarkable. I mean, all of the businesses there that you can stop by, as you do the walking tour.
So friendly. They have lunch included too that you can sign up for and have some local food. It's great.
Thanks, so many tourists hope that they'll explore outside of the Loop as well.
Well, flu season is here, and the FDA has recently approved, and you might be excited about this, a flu mist nasal spray that you can use by yourself at home. Fox Medical Team's Dr. Mike joins us live now. Dr. Mike, what do you know about this nasal spray?
Well, I'll tell you what I do know, Natalie. My daughter, who's 12, was so ecstatic about this. She was just over the moon. Now, let me tell you, giving her a regular flu shot, she's 12, is like amputating her arm without anesthesia. I mean, it's a nightmare from hell for me. So this new FDA approval, and by the way, this isn't going to be available until next fall, but it's something to look forward to. The flu mist is a spray that you spray up your nose. It's available now, but you still have to go to a healthcare provider's office or a pharmacy to get it. The issue here is it will avail more people access to the flu vaccine, and that's a win-win situation.
And does it provide the same protection as that normal shot-in-the-arm flu shot?
Well, yeah, absolutely. The most recent studies show that it does. Now, there's a couple of things about the flu mist that we need to know about. One, it's a live attenuated virus, meaning it's a live virus that's been weakened. Now, there are certain people that can't get this. Pregnant women cannot get it. People who are immunosuppressed cannot get it, and it's only FDA approved for the ages of 2 to 49. But I think it's going to, again, I mean, there are some people who absolutely refuse to get a needle in the arm, and this may allow more people to get vaccinated.
All right.
I think it's a really good thing. Yep.
Absolutely. All right, let's switch gears now, Dr. Mike. Researchers are discovering more about how the brain changes throughout pregnancy, and a new study shows that certain brain regions may actually shrink in size during pregnancy, but improve in connectivity. So how does this work?
Well, let me get a brain. Hold on.
Okay, show us, please.
Right here. Yeah, this is a brain. A lot of viewers will say it's about time Sirigliano brought a brain. Anyway, so look, bottom line is that now talk about a cool thing, Natalie. Listen to this. A researcher, healthy woman, decides she's going to scan her brain with an MRI every couple of weeks. She starts before she gets pregnant, all through the pregnancy, and then for up to 2 years afterwards. And what did they find? They found changes in the gray matter, where there was some decline in the amount, and an increase in white matter. Now, this is what's called brain plasticity. And we think that this occurs during pregnancy because of hormonal changes, but it may also be programmed into the brain to allow for certain parts of the brain to communicate better and to allow mom to be a mom. Fascinating.
Yeah, it really to have that maybe connection with the baby, and then, you know, it maybe make you more alert when you're so tired you can barely keep your eyes open, Dr. Mike, as that new mother usually is.
Yes. Well, listen, when my wife was pregnant, I was fully domesticated. If she said jump, I said how high. How do you like that?
You're a good man, Dr. Mike. I like it.
Discover Chicago's hidden gems and untold tales.
If you look up, odds are you're seeing our work.
They have such an intense and fierce look when they swoop down and grab a fish.
3, 2, 1, go!
Fox 32's photographers share the stories they've captured with you.
Fountain jet shoots up about 150 feet. Our designers, the sky is their canvas.
See Chicago through their unique lens. Streaming now at Fox 32 on Fox Local. Download Fox Local on these streaming platforms and start watching.
I still got some fun deep inside me. Please give me energy. I know you won't be shy. Please do some proofs to me. Just say goodbye to Jim, then take a quiz for me. Quiz for me.
Okay, 8-bar. A local teacher is giving her students a collision course of pop culture and math. Natalie Kazmarski teaches at Chesterton High School. She is going viral with this remix of the song Rich Baby Daddy by Drake.
Yep, that clip on TikTok has surpassed 19 million views. She is joining us now. Thanks for joining us. Okay, how fun are you? I want a teacher like that, right?
Right.
What made you decide to do this?
So this is my third time doing a rap for the first day of school. And I just wanted to connect with my students. I think the best way to kind of relate to them and kind of get them comfortable in your room is to kind of do something kind of out of the ordinary and just connect with them.
So we know you've done some Drake songs. How do you select the music? You got any Cardi B or Nicki Minaj in your repertoire?
Usually I always do Drake or it's featuring Drake. I just really like him and the kids tend to like him a lot too.
Okay.
Wait, so who do you think won the rap battle between him and Kendrick Lamar?
Of course, Drake.
All right, Miss K.
Do you agree?
We'll talk after the show.
Do you agree with Miss K? Okay, I have to ask you, what age group are we talking about here? And I want to find, because kids are funny. I'm sure the first time you did this, they were probably like, oh my gosh, right? So what age group are we talking about, and what was their initial reaction?
Yeah, so I teach typically freshmen and sophomores in geometry. And so the first day of school, they're kind of acting cool. So they're kind of at first like, oh my gosh, this lady is about to do this. And then by the end, they kind of hoop and holler. But now that I've gone viral, they come in my room all the time and say like, the views have gone up, the views have gone up. So it's just super cute. They are really excited about it. And that's what's awesome.
I'm wondering too, can they perform and maybe get like extra credit? Is that an option? If not, kids, I'm trying to make that happen for you.
Oh, they always say no cell phones, please, to me, and they just make me laugh about it. But they have some ideas about some new raps, so I have to do some more. I think more than just the first day of school.
Oh, I'm sure everybody is giving you suggestions. Okay, you must be kind of a little blown away by the fact that this has taken on a life of its own, right?
Oh my goodness. I just made the rap to kind of connect with the kids, not to go viral. And so it's just awesome. I'm super excited about the attention I've gotten just for our school and just for teachers in general, the positive light.
Yeah, what are you hearing from other teachers? Are they trying to get some notes from you?
All my coworkers are super excited, and so it's just super fun. They're all excited. We need more good teachers. We need good people to become teachers. So it's just kind of a good energy towards our profession.
You guys are the backbone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious, what have the children they're teenagers, what have they said to you specifically? I mean, how has this helped them, if at all?
Oh yeah, I think they think I'm a real person, right? Like I don't just live and breathe school. I listen to Drake, so they kind of just feel like that I'm relatable. And so I think that's what's really neat is they just know I don't just teach math. I'm here to hear about their everyday lives and about all their good things going in their life.
Do you have a rap name? I'm T. Lee Mo Money. What would yours be?
Oh, you give me one. You're the name master.
Poppin' Perez. We'll work on it. Do you have one?
So I go by Miss Kaz with the students since my last name Kazmarski's kind of long. So I would say probably Miss Kaz, I guess, is my rap name.
Can we get a little sample here?
Yeah, can we get
I like to learn about some angles and shapes.
Yeah, passing period's over. Take a seat and breathe. Get your things out, class. No cell phones, please.
Yeah, now do it again with Chili's accompaniment in the background.
You're so awesome.
No, that is great. How fun. Keep doing what you do, and hopefully you're not only helping the children, but you're inspiring other teachers to kind of think outside the box. You said something so important, and that's about being relatable, and you're dealing with a tough age group, and I love that it's been such a huge success, right?
Hopefully you hear from Drake. So.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I hope so. That would be awesome.
Okay, Aubrey Graham, you heard us.
Yep. Maybe you want to tweet that, okay? And get back to us when he gets back to you.
Sounds good.
Okay, keep up the good work. Great to talk to you.
Awesome.
Take it easy.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It's the first day of fall. The spooky season is just around the corner. And so Jake is getting spooked by a haunted house this morning.
He is live at the Nightmare on Clark Street. Hey, Jake.
That's right, guys. It's the perfect spot if you need a little bit of encouragement to work your way through a haunted house, because halfway through, there's a bar, and you can have a little bit of liquid courage in true Wrigleyville fashion. But when you start this three-story haunted house, it starts on the roof, and I'm here with Evan. Evan, my goal is to make it through this live shot without stepping on those things and without swearing.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly right. This is really cool. Wow, okay, I want to address sort of the elephant in the room really quickly. When people come out here, the sun's not going to be out. It's almost 10 o'clock in the morning. We're walking people through, so there's a different vibe.
Absolutely,
But it's a little bit of a different experience whenever people are actually going to be out here on a Saturday night. So this is the three-story haunted house in Wrigleyville, and people are starting on the roof.
Yeah, we start up here, and I mean, every floor is scary. Every floor is going to be loud. Every floor is going to be dark. This kind of takes you into our cemetery graveyard area.
And I gotta say, one of the things I love about the fact that you guys are here in Wrigleyville, there are a lot of great haunted houses all around the Chicagoland area. But a lot of them, sometimes you got to drive outside the city for. A lot of them, you got to get out in the burbs. This one is just right here in the heart of Wrigleyville. And you know what? It can be a part of your whole night. You guys have a bar downstairs. Yeah, I mean, this could be just one small part of a really fun evening.
Oh, absolutely. We have a restaurant downstairs as well, so you can grab dinner before or after your experience.
And we've been talking a lot about one of my favorite aspects of this haunted house, which is that halfway through, there's a bar. So what I've been telling people is, if this isn't your thing, if you think, a haunted house is not really for me, then, you know what? Halfway through, you get a kind of a little push to help you finish it.
Yeah, that liquid courage, just to get you through.
Now, I know you guys are already going. You're already set up. People can come back out starting Wednesday. But you would recommend maybe getting tickets in advance. There are different packages, and that's probably going to help you get exactly what you want before people just roll up on a Saturday night?
Absolutely. I definitely recommend buying tickets in advance. We do have 3 different levels of tickets. We have GA, GA Plus, and then our Platinum VIP as well.
Okay, so if I get the Good Day Chicago crew, we'll get everybody in, and then there are a few of us who probably will need that drink halfway through if you're good.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
For sure.
Really quick, where can people find more information?
You can find us online at Nightmare on Clark Street.
Beautiful. Evan, thank you so much. All right, guys, we are out here. Like I said, the vibe will be a little different when people come out on a Saturday night because, most importantly, that big bowl of fire in the sky, that won't be going. It'll be dark, and it'll be scary. And most importantly, it's Wrigleyville, so drinks will be flowing. Though I got to admit, I got to be honest with you guys, some of these creatures I think I've seen rolling out of the bar at 2 a.m. in Wrigleyville. So for some people, it's a Saturday night.
No, I just love that they got, like, you can go grab a drink in the middle of being scared.
Yeah, right. And I don't know if I could do that at night. I think during the day is one thing, but at night is
it's a little bit of a different dimension.
Whole different ball game, as they might say at Wrigley.
Today we're playing a little game of Something Here Does Not Belong. I'm with the CEO and president of Brookfield Zoo Chicago, Dr. Mike, and the geese that people see at the zoo. Yeah. Are those yours?
They are not ours. So they are wild geese. A lot of people think that there are animals, and there are some that have neck bands on that have a number on them, which adds to people's thought that they're part of our zoo family here. But those bands were actually put on as part of a study with researchers looking at goose migratory patterns. So geese normally would migrate from the north to the south. But what we found is that a lot of geese are no longer migrating. So they've taken up residence somewhere. In the case of the zoo, we've got a large resident population that's decided this is a great place to just hang out year-round, which is not a good thing.
If I could live here, I definitely would. What are they doing behind us?
So they're just foraging right now. So they're herbivores. So they eat grass and shoots and leaves and those types of things, occasionally insects, aquatic plants. But so they just spend a lot of time cruising the grounds. Part of the problem here at the zoo is there's also French fries and popcorn and all of the things that people drop or leave behind or feed to them intentionally. So, we really try very hard to discourage people from feeding all of our animals here at the zoo, even the wild ones, because it just encourages them to continue to stay here at the zoo.
I think one of the neat features of this type of animal is how they fly in that V shape.
Yeah, so it's really just a spectacular, evolutionary thing that has come to be where they fly in this V shape. They figured out that it decreases the drag as they've got the wind resistance kind of shared between the whole flock, and they're not all individually having to flap through that wind.
And there are so many of them. I mean, I feel like wherever you look, there are Canadian geese.
Yeah, so, they were hunted heavily. They're still a federally protected species under the Migratory Bird Act, but their populations are very strong today, and they're in parts of the world where they don't actually belong. There's been introductions of Canadian geese into other parts of the world. And then again, just these resident populations that just decide to hang out somewhere and no longer migrate like they should, which is just not a good thing for wildlife. Anytime we have wildlife that's not behaving as they should naturally, it's just not a good thing.
And they aren't the only bird species that are banded that you'll find here at the zoo.
They're not, actually. So some of our animals here at the zoo are peafowl or peacocks or guinea fowl, have little leg bands that they wear around so that our care staff can make sure every day that those animals are accounted for, that they're eating, that they're healthy. And then you'll see it in some of our other birds in our different habitats around the zoo, little small colored bands on a leg that helps us tell one bird from another. Our penguins have little small flipper bands that they wear, kind of like a bracelet. Doesn't bother the animal at all, but makes it easy for us to keep track of their health.
It's like their version of the Taylor Swift friendship bracelet.
That is exactly it.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, Natalie is standing by with some friends who have returned for another season of Orange Friday.
That's right, Anita. Backed by popular demand, the Brass Animals are here. And the name says it all. They are a brass band. And I'm joined by Ben Lack now. And you guys play venues all over the city, and people can hire you for special events.
That's right. And thanks for having us. It's really nice to be back. We play birthday parties, corporate events, any kind of private events all over the city, but one of our favorite spots to play is at the United Center. we get to play at all the Blackhawks home games for the season. This is actually going to be our 4th season playing for the team. So we're really, really excited about doing that again this year.
What a treat. So when people head out to the Blackhawks games, when can they see you?
So we play a lot of different times for different games, but for every home game we're playing before the puck drops. There's a special moment right before the puck drops that we all get to be a part of. It's a really fun moment. So we encourage everybody to show up a little bit early so they can see us. Yeah.
That is quite the incentive. And you guys are a nationwide organization.
That's right. Yeah, we're in more than 40 cities all over the country. So we play like a troupe, a national troupe. So there's over 700 Brass Animals musicians all over the country. But Chicago happens to be one of the oldest Brass Animals bands that we have. And we've been playing for a long, long time here in town. Really love to be here.
I know you guys are all full-time musicians. To be able to do something that you love full-time has to be such a joy. And if you were to describe the type of music that you guys play, what would it be?
Definitely New Orleans style brass band. So if you've ever been to New Orleans, you know what we're talking about. But we also play a lot of top 40, hip hop, funk, pop music, things that people are going to really have a good time. And we like to play happy feet music, so get you dancing. So if you're at home and you want to get off the couch or the sofa and dance with us for this next song, feel free. I think you're going to know it.
Now, one more question before I let you go.
Yes.
Do your lips ever get tired?
You're going to have to ask them. I have
The lips ever get tired? Yes. Okay, I just had to know. How do you practice?
Great question.
Right.
Great question.
Any predictions for the Bears game?
Yes, so I think it's going to be a close game, but the Bears are going to win 24-21 this weekend.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. And then you guys are going to be playing one of my favorite songs because, as I was telling you, I used to sing it to my daughter when she was trying to fall asleep, although yours is a little bit of a more upbeat version.
Yeah, we're going to play You Are My Sunshine.
All right, take
so
it
if you
away.
want to sing along with us, feel free.
Okay, take it away, Ben.
This has been your Fox 32 Week in Review. See you around next week.